Okay. For everybody else. Hello? Whoops.
Anywhere in this, or is this
Hello. Nope. Correct. I mean, kind of. Because at that table, there were like character cards at each seat. Whatever color suits you. And I apologize for the delay in chat. You guys able to hear me? What? Hello? Come on, now what? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Ugh, that's annoying. Oh, I've been talking for like the last 5 minutes. And I'm just like, why are they... Oh, gosh. Yes. Welcome to the room. Just click don't ask me again and okay. Everything okay? Yeah, I noticed your ping is kind of all over the place. And if need be, I can cut back on some of the assets in the room. It is no problem. I have. It's fascinating. Yeah. 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 Right now you're at 150, so I will keep assets to a minimum. Yeah. Oh, I pinned it in the Ringworld Prime. Yeah, that's probably not helping anything. Yeah. Actually, that's a working iPad where you can search Google on it. Yeah. Yeah, so I just put up an image of Halo. Yeah, it's like, hey, do you want to open this? Also, these books over by the fireplace, you can actually page through them, and they're character handbooks. Yeah, so like you can open Xanathar's. Yeah, they've got like page options. I found this table and I was like, that's really neat. D&D. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And one of the nicest things about this table is working dice cannon. Yeah, physics is a little weird. I haven't quite pinned everything down. Uh yeah, like there's a physics option for like playing around with it. Like I might give it a mass of 50. Which ones? Ah, thank you. Yeah. Like, and each of you has a chest. Inside the chest has a number of helpful things like AoE indicators. So like it'll show you exactly how big like a 15-foot cone is. Which things? Oh, let me go into permissions. Da, 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 da. Okay. Now try. Really? I don't know. You open it up, sort of like the bags. Pick whatever color's not taken. You get it? Uh, Similarly, if you right-click on the box, there'll be a search option. Yeah. They float a bit. I apologize. I will try to limit some of the assets. No, no, no. All good. Not your fault. Okay. Yeah. Right-click and search. That's the easiest way. Similarly, if you right-click and search, you can put everything back into the box. If you click and hold on, like without dragging right away, you can pick up the bag. Hmm? Oh, yes. Don't mind him. He's just sleeping. Yeah. If you bother him too much, he'll wake up. Oh, he woke up. I... Sorry, I like assets. You already said it yourself. All right, Dennis, you need to go away for a bit. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Hmm? Ah, yeah. Similarly, you have a regular set of dice you're able to roll, and I can get you bags of fancier looking dice. Yep, perfectly fine. If this table is a little too chunky, I can pare things down. But similarly, like, I wonder if I can just... I don't know. Oh, if you click your name, there'll be change color. Yum. Hmm? Oh, yeah, sure. Really? You can't? You guys should have permission for everything except flipping the table. Change color. What color do you want to be? Okay, there you go. How many of these do you want? Oh. Gotcha. Okay. Let you guys poke around the table a little bit. Get comfortable. Oh, it's like if you have a deck of cards, like if you were playing poker on here, you could deal cards to players. In this, it's irrelevant. Yes, and after this, I will par down on some of the more irrelevant features. Like, we probably don't need all the handbooks able to be fingered through. I can probably get rid of those. They do, and they are functional. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, this might end poorly. If it does, I can fix it later. Well, interesting. Got rid of the fireplace, but the fire's still there. Fire, where are you? Can't find the thing caught up. There's one of the fires. There, got the other fire. But, noted, I can get rid of the fire without getting rid of the fireplace. Yes, I got rid of the fireplace, but the fire stayed. We are in a box. Do not look beyond the box. Do not look in the box. Do not look outside of the box. You are in a safe, enclosed space. Nothing bad will happen to you inside of the box. Outside of the box, I cannot promise. No. You will not get that. And that's how you guys beat the campaign in session 1. Okay. And after this session, we can also get around to getting you guys some more customized pieces, but for now, select a dice that you are particularly fond of that you would like to represent you on the board. All right, these metal ones are weird. Saved object. They're... Oh, yours are right here. Oh, these are just more metal dice. Wait, no. Here we go. You clone them. All right. I'm giving everybody a D4. For now, this will be your character piece. You will once you set the color. Yes. So, like, Stan's is green, because he's the green player. And also named Stan. Oh, on the dice roller thing? Yeah. Those are fake dice. I was gonna say, it looks changed. Yes. 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 Okay. Now, Marston, grabbing your die, putting it here. For now, all your dies, except for Marston's, will be outside the front door. Okay. Welcome to session 1, everybody. Glad you didn't get scared off after session 0. Scene opens to a bustling market in the early hours of the morning. The air is slightly clammy and damp after a light rainfall the previous night. Stalls have been set up, and a menagerie of species are milling about as they are starting their day, buying bread, going to the fishmonger, various things. The section of the city you guys find yourself in is a secondary market near the port that caters to the airships. Off to the side of the market, there is a squat little pub that you are standing out in front of, along with a number of other individuals. Pub's name is the Tall Swan. Currently, the pub has been rented out for about half the day by the crew of the Endurance, a cargo airship hiring on crew members. From inside, you hear a booming voice bellow out, "Next!" Who's going in first? All right. Stepping inside, the pub is musty and smells vaguely of mildew. In the far corner, you see a swarthy-looking dwarf and a bored-looking elf sitting alongside a tiefling who is minding his own business at this point in time. You approach the table. Neither the dwarf nor the elf look up. The dwarf says, "What's your name?" "Bjorn." "It's for a legal document, so probably yes." The dwarf pinches the bridge of his nose. "I've heard worse fake names." "All right, Bjorn. What skills can you bring to the crew? Doing. Can you tie ropes, run a sail, carry at least 50 pounds? Good. Now, why is it you wish to sign on to the crew? Need money, need work. Fine. That'll do. Don't go very far. Next! Outside? Yes, there's a number of halflings outside. Okay, you run inside. There is a halfling behind the counter of the pub. The dwarf looks up, seeing the bronzed individual running around the pub. I assume you're the next individual. What's your name? All right, Sid. What skills can you bring to the crew? The, the dwarf has his hand pinching the bridge of his nose again up until the point where you say navigator. Oh, navigator, huh? You're probably the first individual today that's actually had a relevant skill to offer this ship. Why is it you want to sign on? The dwarf is just staring at you. Right. Anyway, you have any questions for me? He stares at you. Next! All right. What's your name? All right, Kimbrin. What skills can you bring to the crew? Hmm. Good to hear. Good with ropes. Very helpful. Why is it you wish to sign on to the crew? Gotcha. And I assume this cargo you have a manifest for that we can add. Ah, very good, very good. Next! Oh, right there. All right. Behind the rail of the pub, there is a tired-looking halfling. He's got some gray, thin hair. It's early morning, but he already looks a little exasperated. Every time the dwarf bellows something out, you see him wince. There's a number of individuals in here. A couple of them have drinks in front of them, but you get the inclination that most of them are here for the job interview. The halfling is cleaning a tankard. Work for them? No. They rented out the space. They do it every few months or so when they're back in port, bringing on new people and such. Few years, yes. Oh, yes. It's, there's a reason I actually agreed to rent out this space despite needing to listen to that man shout out for the next 3 hours. The usual occasional sailor brawl in port. Beyond that, I can't imagine anything else. Very least, I haven't heard anything along the lines of smuggling, running, those kinds of things. The up and up sorts. Of course. You see the dwarf finishing up with scraggly looking kobold. The dwarf is like, yes, yes, another individual who's good with their hands. Next. He looks at the gold. Passage, huh? Well, this is a... He looks you up and down. You know we're a cargo vessel, right? Okay. Well, okay. Sightseer. He makes a note of that in a little notebook. Well, good news for you is you're not the only individual who will be traveling in such a manner with us. That said, he picks up the 3 gold. We do charge a bit more than this for traveling to Embershire on the far side of the ring. So, at the very least, we would expect you to help out with a couple of tasks here and there. Does that sound amiable? Fantastic. I think I have just the thing in mind. He pockets the gold and waves you off. Just as he's about to fall out next, you see a messenger run up and start talking to the dwarf. And you were about to say something, I believe. Yes. Roll me perception check. Yes. Back out of the box real quick. You too, Stan. Oh, I was going to do that too. I think only one person can be there at a time. You wanted this bag, the character sheets thing? It doesn't have any information on there just yet. But you will have... Yes, I didn't recreate all your character sheets. But should you wish to, you can put all the information onto there to just give you a nice, like, right here in Tabletop Simulator view. But I can go to your character sheet right now, and are you looking for your perception score? Oh. Oh, fantastic. By all means. And if you tap the R button on your keyboard, it'll auto roll. Otherwise, if you right click, you can select roll. And what'd you get? You're not sure over the background noise of the other people in the pub. The halfling looks at you. All right. Make you something tasty. Is that going to be in the form of drink or food? It's a banana herald. How much could it cost? $10? He just looks at you for the gold. He goes into the back. Comes back about a minute later. He's got some bangers and mash on the plate, and then pours you a pint of ale. There you go. I'll get you some change. Of course. Right about the time you're getting your food, the dwarf stands up, shimmies past the bored-looking elf. As he's starting to move, he kicks the tiefling next to him. Marston, get up. You're coming with me. Okay. Let's see. Bjorn, Kimbrin, dead, and passenger. Come over here. Yes. All right. Well, congratulations. I'm making the call right now. You're on board. Brief introductions. My name is Strovak Holview. I'm the first mate. Silence! Otherwise, I'll find somebody else. You are making the cut. Congratulations. I've even got a job lined up for you right now. One of our primary investors hasn't shown up yet to the docks. Much like yourself, he says, gesturing towards Amanda's character. He has brokered passage for himself and a good amount of his wares aboard the Endurance. Without him, we don't have his money. Without his money, this expedition is getting called off. As such, I'm sending you four, plus this individual here. He goes by Marston. Marston, say hi. He's going to show you where the individual's shop is. He goes by the name of Piranesi de Luca. He runs an emporium, Piranesi de Luca. He runs an emporium just off the side of the Grand Market. The ship leaves tomorrow, so you have until then to find him. If I don't hear back from you by this afternoon, I will send other people. Does that sound fair? First mate. Sure. Congratulations, Marston. You're getting promoted to courier. You're now with these guys. And with that, you guys begin to leave, and the dwarf bellows, "Next!" Ugh. Okay, you step back out onto the street. The hustle and bustle of the market continues all around you. A bit more of a crowd has shown up. A number of stalls are, hollering out, selling their wares. And all right, you put your hood up. Okay, then let's see. Marston, roll me. Ba-ba. Roll me straight intelligence. Actually, make that insight. Sure. You didn't tell me what the result was. Okay. With an 18, you're plenty aware of how best to navigate the winding streets of the city. As you're walking, you go across a number of alleyways and connection roads, ranging from cobbled to straight dirt, with buildings in varying degrees of upkeep. Some are bright and white, some are fairly dingy and in need of a good cleaning. After about 15 minutes of walking, you reach one of the main thoroughfares. It's a massive street that dwarfs even the side market that you had just been doing business on. And you're able to see all along it, from the main gate all the way to the south, to the castle in the center of the city. Tall trees line the road, and a number of very pristine-looking storefronts are lining the main buildings. Yep. You go down towards the gateways, and you see a nice-looking shop with a monogrammed door and a engraved glass window reading Piranesi's Emporium of Exotic Wonders. The sign on the door reads closed. There is a display window, but there is a curtain behind it, blocking view into the shop greater. Normally, yes. His shop hours, he opens pretty much right as it turns to day. That said, you are aware that Piranesi himself is going to be traveling on board your ship, so his hours might have shifted. Yes. Um, Not quite, but if you go down to the end of the block, you'd be able to get to the service alleys. All right. You're able to make out displays, which looks like a couple of the displays still have an item or two in them, but for the most part, they've been cleaned out. Roll me perception check. Dirty 20. You're peering through the window, trying to get as good of a view as you can. You notice one of the corners between some of the sheets blocking the back of the displays. There's a slight gap, and you can see what look like multiple shadows moving around inside the store. All right, guys going around back. All right. Doot, and ha, I wish. So, well, while I was setting up, the like this main table, I was able to change the background from just like a sheer black face to parchment. After that, I have not been able to select it to change it again. So, it's currently stuck on that. Yeah. Similar. It's the Kraken table. Okay. You guys make your way, coming this way down the alley. Um, and the shop is going to be this door right here. Yep. Barrels and crates. Mm-hmm. Damn Skippy. All right. All right. Roll me perception check. Everybody can if you feel so inclined. Okay. Nine. Okay. Okay. As you're looking down, you notice it's a fairly quiet alley, and A number of barrels and crates are stacked up out and around the Emporium, suggesting that Piranesi was in fact moving, but there's not a lot of activity. And the only individual you see is a individual standing right near the door, trying to look as inconspicuous as possible. Right around the time, yeah, right around the time you round the barrels, he's giving you a sidelong glance, and then when it's pretty clear that you're approaching him, he puts on a very customer service smile. Good morning. How can I help you? He steps in front of you. I'm sorry, Mr. DeLuke is very busy right now. He puts a hand on your chest. I think you don't understand. He's already in a meeting. You know, you and I, we're on the same wavelength here, because I was just about to ask you the same thing. Now look, you guys look like good people. I'm gonna give you, 6 seconds to turn around and walk away. By all means. You wanted to what? 17? This guy is definitely less than reputable. I'll have you roll a perception check, but first, Amanda. Okay. Roll intimidation. And what'd you get? Yeah, that says a 1. Oof. Huh. Definitely a possibility. No, no. Okay. Uh, you see the individual just take his hand hesitantly off of Marston's chest and like put it down by his sides, and his eyes are wide, just trying to process what just happened. He's like, the man is sweating at this point and is just like, uh, okay, what are you prestidigitating? All right. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Second. Uh, the man takes a step back, pounds a fist against the door. I'm sorry, boss! And just sprints out. Video games get all the credit for having loading screens. I have to do it. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, 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 no. My streams are always marked, uh, kind of, you know, hey, not exactly family friendly. Yeah. Okay. You guys enter pretty quick after the man ran off. The individuals inside are just sort of processing what happened. Some of the other individuals in the room, wearing the same outfit as the man out in the alley, are looking towards the door. There's a real, just side of beef looking guy in the back of the room holding a rather wiry looking individual against a stack of boxes, who turns his head when you open the door. And what do you guys want? Well, if it makes you feel better at all, we're here on business. DeLuca here was trying to skip town without making his last security payment. And we can't have a contract end like that, you know. It's business. Well, a shop like this Emporium, more than you all've got. All right. DeLuca, what was it you still owe us? Well, it's, last I checked, I believe the price was around 30 gold for this last week. Yes. Yes. I will admit, I'm not entirely sure what the cops sound like in this world. What would you suggest? Roll me, hmm. Roll me a performance, just for the hell of it. See how accurate the, local constabulary is. An 8. Okay. Exactly. I'm just seeing. So how does this device work? All right. Um, as your device goes off, the sound of ringing bells and a small little belted bugle sound from out in the alley. Yeah, yeah. They sound close, boss. Um, as you're saying that, 3 of the individuals beat feet out of there. The thug, who's got Piranesi cornered, looking a little nervous himself, but he's not about to run. You want to go there? He gives a sharp whistle. The other man falls in. You got a deal. All right. Are you trying to do it stealthily or uh roll me sleight of hand? All right. You've got the rock behind your back, and you're keeping the light fairly concealed. All right. The thug turns around and Piranesi. We'll keep an eye out for you next time you're in port. All right. Yes. Doesn't mean we can't renew our contract. He moves to leave. Mind spike? Is that the thing that makes somebody's brain leak? Okay, we'll do that and roll initiative. Intelligence saving throw. Doot. Ooh, nat 20. Yeah, he's gonna save. Oof. Hmm. Like, you say the verbal component, his head tilts back a little bit as, like, his brain is, like, something just happened, but I have absolutely no idea what it was. He gives you a... Yeah. Yeah. Like, he can't really register it as a hostile action. He's just like, that was weird. Yes. Uh, well, yeah. You dealt you dealt no damage, and he can't really process it as a hostile action. I'm gonna say he's going to continue to move through you guys. Unless another hostile action takes place. Alright. Yeah, he put it into one of his shirt pockets. I mean, you can certainly try. Uh, what is it? Okay. All right. Roll me sleight of hand. 15. Okay. Well, the rock. Uh, yeah. Roll me. I'll have you assist. Alex, roll with advantage on that one. Yeah. Okay. I'll say with somebody assisting you and a decent roll, you were able to reach up, slit it, and yank the coin purse out. As the thug turns over his shoulder and glares at Kimbrin. You guys are really pushing it. Come on, we're getting out of here. All right. Back inside the back room of the Emporium, the wiry man stands up, brushes himself off. Thank you very much for that. That is fascinating little trick. Quite the artificer, are you? Ah, very nice. If you're ever looking to sell anything, let me know. Weasel is a very strong term when you're discussing things of gray legality. Let's just say there's various reasons why I want to get out of town. Him? Oh, goodness, no. He just lead this little troop. In this part of the woods? Oh, goodness, no. I mean, I've heard a couple of names, but here in the city, I don't know, there's at least 3. Uh, he's a very rotund fellow. Well, you know what they say about nicknames. You never get to pick your own. Anyway, I fancy getting out of here. The Endurance. No, I did not name you guys the Enterprise. Congrats, you are in the right part of the dictionary. Oh, that'd be marvelous. I'd even be willing to throw something in for each of you. I was... Uh, Yes, he pats his pockets. Tell you what, he pulls out a deck of cards. How about a fortune telling on the house? All I'm hearing is it sounds like a reasonable time to beat feet. Oh, yeah. Ba-ba-da-ba. Wah. He pulls out a pocket watch. Tick tock, tick tock. Okay. He puts his pocket watch away. Okay. I will carry what we can. If there's still stuff here, fantastic when we get back. Otherwise, I can send somebody else later. And I've already got the expensive stuff on the Endurance. These are all... Yes, these are mostly knickknacks and various baubles. Oh, marvelous. He opens the doors and unlocks the front. After you all. I was gonna say, is this the Star Wars campaign all over again? The door swings in. How very appropriate. That is a very good thing to know before barricading a door. Intelligence-based characters. Uh, Whoever's leading this, roll me a strength check. Roll with advantage. Oof. Okay. While they're doing that, hell. You find a small box, but it's got some very nice lettering on it. Inside, there is a glass orb that fits in the palm of your hand with water in it, and there's a clockwork goldfish swimming around inside. Piranesi de Luca. That is a small glass orb filled with water with a metal goldfish in it. Oh, yes. Like you can put it on a desk and it'll swim around and it's something to look at. I mean, to the extent that I could sell it. He look he looks like he's about to say something but just holds up a thumbs up. Like, yep. That's fair. You move the box. It makes a grating noise as it slides across the stone floor. But after a little bit, you manage to block the doorway. All right, you make your way to the front. Everybody else grabbing stuff or just moving? Roll me perception. Uh, in one of the back corners, you notice a uh wooden tube that you would recognize as something that papers and documents get transported in. All right. Fantastic. Okay. With that, you guys go out the front. DeLuca is waiting by the front, and once the last of you are out, he shuts the door and locks it with a nice brass key that he tucks back into his pocket. Okay, let's get going, shall we? He picks up a small little box of his own and makes his way through the street. Piranesi. As you're doing that, and you guys are walking along, he turns to you. Are you really on board the ship? You don't look much like a sailor. That's because I'm a businessman. Ah, well, to a good voyage, says as he tilts the box a bit. Nick, roll me a straight d20. Nat 20. All right. Yeah, you are able to flawlessly make your way through the city streets. Your confident walk is. What was that? Yes, correct. Hey, I've already proved that the only way I can kill you guys is by making you fall off bridges. So, you guys are able to quickly make your way through the winding alleys and streets, making your way through one of the nicer parts of town. Uh, some of the storefronts and stalls are open, and the smell of fresh baked bread and sizzling meat waft out onto the streets. And oh yes, I absolutely love Salazar's. Piranesi chimes in. Truly a match made in heaven. In total, it takes you about 15 more minutes to get to the side gate of the city walls that leads out to the airship port. And as soon as you step out, the atmosphere of your surroundings changes. The claustrophobic feeling of the high city walls and pristine white buildings fades away, and you're greeted by a forest of masts and sails. A number of dry docks are built up at multiple points of elevation, letting airships of all shapes and sizes dock. All around you, sailors and dock workers are milling about, transporting cargo, uh, moving passengers, doing various repairs. Marston, you would easily remember the location of the Endurance. Turning off to the right, once you leave the gate, you go down towards where some of the larger ships are docked. And in one of the berths there, you are able to see a large airship of dwarven design, It's built wide and heavy, with very strong timbers and metal faceting. Dark oak and tall masts, and written in a almost harsh font, but more straightforward and direct, reads the Endurance. And no, Comic Sans. The quote underneath. No, I regret making that joke. There is a quote written underneath the name of the ship that reads "Nobler than strength." Roll me. There's no mechanics in like there is in Star Wars. Do I know, so many different skills. Perception. Oof. All right. With an 11, you're able to see that the Endurance is an older ship. Has gone through a number of different retrofits, judging by certain areas on the ship look slightly different from other bits. Wood is slightly different. Faceting is slightly less patinaed. So she's got a good number of years under her belt. All right. And as you guys draw closer, the number of individuals milling around the base of the ship, where the rigging connects, or not the rigging, where the dock is connecting with the ship. Individuals are moving in a constant procession back and forth, on and off, moving crates, and there is a elf, by the looks of it, standing near the edge with a clipboard writing onto some paper. You don't see... He does not have a fancy hat. Marston, you would recognize him as the ship's quartermaster. No, he's off to the side, just tallying all the stuff that gets brought on and off. Oh, good. You found DeLuca. And here I was worried we were going to have to stay in port a little while longer. The elf looks up off of his writing pad, scans over the other individuals. And you all must be the new courier group Strovic mentioned. He analyzes each of you with a inquiring eye. Bjorn, Kimbrin, Sid, and Passenger. Nice of you to show up. I will tally your boxes. You may set them off to the side. Should you wish, you may go on board. Otherwise, we could still use help transporting stuff. Oh, he was listing off your guys' names. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Called you Sid. Obsidian is going by Bjorn. Tell is passenger at the moment. And Kimbrin. Marston. Yeah, you. I was like, I'm saying everybody. I'm confused. I'm confused where the issue lies. So who's on second? No, who's on first? All right. All right. The quartermaster beckons Tell aside as you guys are going about your business now. And I've been made to understand you have bartered passage, but as was likely already covered, this is a cargo vessel, so we don't exactly have suites. Fantastic. Oh, really? Yeah. There's always going to be some splintering wood and ropes in need of repairs. You see a number of ropes that have been mended by just unfraying it and then rebraiding and then tying. The quartermaster's face remains placid, but you see one of his eyebrows just quirk up a bit. All right. He inspects it. Handy indeed. Feel free to take your pick of the hammocks down below. Once you get onto the ship and go below deck, you see a large portion of the common area. In between travel and dinner, hammocks are arrayed out, tied between beams in varying levels. Often, some of the corners, they stay up throughout the day, up until enough cargo is brought on board to where they're going to be needed to be tucked aside. But for right now, there is a good selection. Up near the front, there's even a couple that don't have any other hammocks bunked above or below them. All right. Fantastic. You see a number of other hammocks scattered around that have foot lockers nearby, bags hanging from hooks on beams and posts. But you're comfortably able to get your hammock. Anything else anybody wants to do? It's a little after midday. Yes, the morning of the following day. Yes. Uh, Late at night, once all hands are accounted for, whether they're on ship or off, the plank will likely be pulled up. But otherwise, for most all of the day, it'll be you can come and go, but let somebody with the roster know where you're heading. The yeah, the first mate is Strovik, the dwarf, who was interviewing you at the pub. Whatever you say. Yes. The city of Elysia has two main ports. There is the airship port, which is on the northeast side, and the uh, aquatic port for all the seafaring ships on the south side, where a small harbor was dug out from one of the larger rivers passing along the side of the city. Large and deep enough for ships to dock and unload cargo. So the ones you're in, it's got a secondary market nearby, and one of the main roads connecting the gate. Yes. Oh, yes, there's several. The nicest is in the center of town surrounding the castle. Gotcha. Yes, there is a uh, garden a little ways in from the side gate near the airship docks. Oh, yeah. Probably about 20 minutes. All right. It's a very manicured city park. There's a few trees scattered around in uh, calculated distances, set up in an array. The center of the park, there's a fountain. Uh, there's some open patches of dirt, yes. All right. Uh, a little kid passes by and you hear, "What are you doing?" Okay. He gives you a very odd look and walks away like you're a very strange man. Anyone else? Or all right. Probably. Uh, Kimbrin, there's plenty of work for you. Uh, hearing that you are good with your hands and climbing, uh, one of the taskmasters sets you about climbing up into the rigging to secure some of the upper sails. Roll me an acrobatics check. Or athletics, if you wish. Uh, I need to come up with park names. Sapphire Plaza. Ooh, very nice. Yeah, you are able to nimbly make your way up to the very tippy top of the rigging. Uh, a number of other sailors who are going about working up top are impressed by what they see and give a nice little nod. They're like, huh, good addition. Okay. And Sid, you are poring over maps. After about an hour or so, one of the adjoining doors opens up and you see a man with a very fancy hat step out. He looks at you, looks at the map. You must be the individual who was skilled with navigation. Ah. For navigation, not particular. Our rocks are slightly different, but the fundamentals of navigation remain the same. What is your name? I didn't... Ah, Sid. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Captain Arvor. God. No. No. AARTVRK. Arvor. Arvor. Arvor is a human. After the introduction, he goes over to one of the bookcases and pulls out a thick leather-bound book and returns to his cabin. Okay. Later on in the day, unless anybody has anything else they needed to take care of, yes. Go right ahead. Not gonna lie, I'm incredibly happy somebody has Mendy. Yeah, you set about doing that. Nobody bothers you. From time to time, somebody will announce they're coming through with a heavy crate to sort of usher you off to the side while they move through. You get down into like the heart of the ship, like very down into the bowels, like center mass. And you start passing by some slightly more gruff looking individuals near a sort of metal lined room. A dwarf with a sort of soot stained face looks at you and she says, "Now, what do you want?" "This is where the magic happens, little lass." Lass. Important distinction. Yes, the dwarf called you little lass. I can see where the misunderstanding was. Yes. This... well... I'm not much of a mage myself. More of a tinkerer, I keep it running. But all of these doohickeys and contraptions, working in conjunction with something, I don't know the specifics. When wind hits the sails, it takes in energy and moves us forward and keeps us aloft. Every once in a while, we'll need to set down and take in water, refuel it, something about the reaction going on inside. But this is an important part of the ship, even if I don't exactly understand 100% how it works. Well, oh, well, I mean, right now we can't really do too much, seeing as we're in port. Yeah, sure, come on down. Well, I mean, some of the knobs over on that side have been, creaky. She gives a slight approving nod as she goes about, doing her own checks. All right. Anybody else have anything else? All right. Later on in the day, you hear the quartermaster call 30 minutes to sundown. And sailors begin mostly milling onto the ship. One or two get off. Around this time, the first mate and the elf that was with him come back. And immediately you hear him bellow out, "All hands! Up to the top deck!" And every sailor begins to make their way topside. Um, all of them, in fact. Once everybody's up top, you see the first mate is standing up on the raised sailing house, looking down at you all over the railing. All right. As many, if not all of you, are aware by this point, my name is Strovak Holview. I'm the first mate on board the Endurance, and I will now fill you all in on the details of our upcoming expedition. Oh, Strovak? It is Strovak. And then Hull, and then View. Hull View being one word. Yes. Nice. Okay. This expedition will be beginning here in the city of Elysia. We will be sailing downspin, making stops along the way, here in East Loran, often Ulyss, one stop in Alcria, and then pushing on to Osifix. In Osifix, we'll be setting down in the city of Embassy. That is how far your contracts take you. Should you wish, you may sign back on, at my discretion. If you did a good job, I'll be more than happy to bring you back. If you were a bit of a shite, you'll be sent packing. Now, those of you who are new crew members, stick around. Everybody else, beat feet back to whatever it was you were doing. He lets the experienced crew members go about their business, leaving a nice little group of the new hires. All right, now, for the new folk, welcome to the crew. Well on board, you'll be working as sailors and couriers as a part of this cargo voyage. For those of you who will be acting as couriers, when we are set down in port, you will be given a mission. This mission is to deliver a parcel of a varying size and quality. Whatever it is, isn't particularly your business, but it is your job to get it to wherever it is supposed to be going. The difficulty will determine how much you get paid for that particular delivery. And they are first come, first serve. If you're slow to the gambit, you will get the bad jobs, whether that be bad in pay or bad in difficulty. Who's to say? It depends. We're not a... Wait, did you say cannoneers? We're not a warship. Should the need to defend the ship arise, you will be expected to defend it, as if it is not defended, you will likely die. Now, that is fair to touch on, as we will be passing the continent of Alcria. The hazard of coming across some elven marauders does exist. Should that happen, we have an experienced crew capable of fending off most threats. The Endurance has sailed for 130 years. We're not going down today. We'll be fine. Now, back to what I was saying. Deliveries are first come, first serve, yada yada. Couriers are still expected to assist in ship duties. As I'm sure many of you are already aware, when I was interviewing you, I was very particular in asking what skills you could bring. These skills will be expected to be brought in the coming days. Whether that be navigation or being good with your hands. And as such, even if you are just a courier, you are still going to be considered full crew. And as such, you will be subject to the full benefits and punishments of crew law. Now, gosh. Once in Embassy, you are welcome to extend your contract. Do any of you have questions? You will get paid for the job in Embassy. While doing courier runs, you will be able to add on to your pay. Similarly, if you sign back on in Elysia to come back here to Elysia, the same applies, but replace Elysia with Elysia and Elysia with Elysia. Anyone else? All right, good. Gangplank comes up in 30 minutes. If you're going to be staying ashore tonight, get off. Just make sure you're back by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We will not wait for you. Do not expect us to. If you're staying on board, get back to work. He turns away from the railing and starts discussing stuff with the elf. And with that, you are all dismissed for the evening to do whatever it is you wish to do for the last night in port. There are portholes, yes. All right, you're able to find areas where there will be hammocks set up in the center of the room, but as there's still a lot of foot traffic going about, they're not set up yet. But coming closer to night, tables are starting to get moved off to the side, boxes are being arranged, and some people are beginning to tie up hammocks. For the main deck, it is stairs. Going down below that, it's ladders. All right. Then, as the day gets on, 30 minutes pass, and any of you who are still topside or near one of the portholes, you're able to see the light gradually dim until about 5 minutes later, it's night. As one of the panels moves across the star, bringing about the night cycle. Almost immediately after the day shifts, you hear a call from top deck, and the gangplank is drawn on board. Most all the crew members are tying up hammocks now. Some are eating. Some are telling stories, playing games. Off in one of the corners, you see a crate's been set up with a dragon chessboard, and a couple of people are set up nearby. A human and a dwarf are currently playing. The human is losing, and is shortly defeated. The dwarf makes eye contact with you, nods, and beckons you towards the open seat. All right. You are enjoying a nice game of dragon chess. Heard. From one of the side rooms, door opens and Piranesi leaves alongside the captain. They're laughing and chatting a bit. Piranesi waves and leaves the captain's company, making his way through the forest of hammocks now. Looks like he's going up on deck. Anyone else doing anything with the downtime or settling in for sleep? All right. Enjoying a game of dragon chess, settling in. Heard. ADHD. um. All right. Uh. Okay. Um. There's. Go ahead. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's. How far was it in? Tell as you're pacing around, some of the lower decks are a bit crowded as people are starting to tuck in for sleep. Up top, there's even though you're still in port, there's still like one or two people on watch. Uh, Standing at the bow and the stern. And a couple of people that are killing time, just sitting around chatting. Piranesi's up here, sitting off to one of the sides. Hmm? He is sitting off to his back is against one of the railings, and he's thumbing through the deck of cards he had mentioned earlier. As you, I have no idea, but they're very pretty. And if nothing else, they're a nice little trinket. I like collecting things like this. Oh, uh, mostly a lot of trade. I traveled a lot when I was younger. Nowadays, it's mostly, the occasional adventurer coming in and selling things he's found along the way. Uh, Other than that, travelers from all across the ring bring in some of the strangest finds. This particular deck of cards came from, I believe, a family out in Romania. They were a big fan of these. I have absolutely no idea what to do with them, but like I said, they're very pretty. Oh, of course. He hands you the deck of cards. Uh, more an oracle deck. Like, there's no like set suit. Uh, each one has various images on them. You pull out one, it's got a giant walking through a forest while juggling boulders. Oh yes. Uh, Very nice folk when they came through town. They traded that deck of cards for, oh gosh, what was it? Was I want to say it was a small little mechanical bird. But it was some years ago. I can't remember the specifics. Doot, doot, doot. Un momento. You pull one, and catches your eye. It's got uh, An individual with a broken crown on their head kneeling in front of an obelisk while a ghost hovers behind them, and it reads, "The Empty Throne." Um, Roll me insight. Six. You've heard of multiple different variations of like using cards to tell the future, uh, similar to like using bones and stuff like that. But you can't recall ever seeing a deck like this one. Oh, oh, certainly. Well, when I was younger, as I mentioned, I was a bit of an adventurer myself. Uh, Found my way into all sorts of ancient ruins, old cities. Oh no, I've never been shot by an arrow. I just decided to go into business instead of wayward adventuring. You know, after a number of years collecting various baubles, you have a good collection to put into a storefront. And I don't know. I guess I'd already done the adventuring thing. I'd been to, all the continents, I'd seen many sights, but I'd never run a shop before. And, a couple years later, here I am beating feet out of the city to try and set up shop elsewhere. So who knows? Maybe I'm deep down still an adventurer needing to wander. Or I could just be running from people trying to racketeer me. Who's to say? How about yourself, passenger? Ah, well, travel by airship is one of the best ways to do it. There's so much to see on this world. Traveling by sea is it's fun, but you don't get the full grandeur, he says as he gestures his arms up towards the sky. So, having done business with the Endurance before, I figured this was the best way. Now, do you have a name I can call you by, or will I be continuing with Passenger? Very well. Either way, I feel myself growing a little weary, so I'm going to retire. You as well. He stands up and makes his way below deck again. All right. I believe that's everyone. Alex, are you still AFK? Anything you wanted Bjorn to do? All right. With that, most everyone has turned into their hammocks. Snoring of varying degrees can be heard from all corners as the sailors have settled in for the night. And the faint bustle of commotion can still be heard from within the city walls as nightlife continues on. But otherwise, the docks are asleep. And we continue to the next day. Right around 6 a.m., night shifts today. A bellowing call rouses necessary sailors to go about their morning business. Most everybody is up and about taking care of last minute things before the voyage commences. Are any of you sleeping in? A deck further down, located close to the magic room that powers the ship, you find the cookery area. A number of swains are going about their business, preparing biscuits, coffee is boiling in a pot. Few other sailors, including the first mate, are there collecting their food. Hmm. All right. A number of individuals are staying and eating down here on tables that have been set up. A couple are heading back topside to eat either on deck or in their cabins. In the case of the first mate. Are you staying below deck? All right. Okay. There's a man and a woman, both humans, sitting nearby, and they look over as you sit down and strike up your conversation. They both see your little tea set, mess kit, and the woman's like, "Did you sleep well, my liege?" Ah, of course. They share a slight chuckle, but go back to eating and drink the coffee you poured. Hmm. First time sleeping in a hammock? First time sleeping in a hammock? Roll deception. You could always try this thing. You just tap one of the die and it rolls. All right. So what'd you get? 5. All right, you say it, but you've got like a slight crick in your neck, so you look a little stiff. Um, the woman just sort of scoffs a little, but shrugs and goes back to drinking her coffee. Yep. All right, you got your biscuits, probably a banger and a cup of coffee. The thing. The woman says, "Now, normally I would continue busting your chops, but you did help repair a number of things yesterday, so I'll go easy on you." All right, whatever you say. Whatever it's worth. Thank you for the coffee. Her smile is slightly condescending. You got a fair number of coffee grounds on the last cup of coffee. All right. All right. Above deck, uh, sailors are bustling every direction. Calls are going out, readying the sails. In a couple short hours, the ship will be taking off, and they are getting all of their last minute things taken care of. The first mate has finished his meal and is going over some plans with the captain. The quartermaster is at the helm, going over some navigational data. And unless there's anything else, the rest of the morning passes very quickly as most everyone's got a job that needs doing. The ship starts to thrum with a slight vibration that you feel through your feet as the magic that keeps the ship aloft starts to flow in greater quantity through the airship as the engine room starts to power up more. All right. You see the female dwarf on a little stand to make sure she's at a good height for everything. She's turning knobs and pushing levers. Uh, Pipes rattle. Some of the fittings off to the side seem a little loose as pressure goes through them. She turns, like, "Would you mind?" Do that thing you did with your hands. Just the rattling dies down almost immediately. She gives a nod and increases the pressure. Reaching for a pipe off to the side. It's got the belled opening for calling out to different parts of the ship. Drives are ready. We're able to set off whenever you give the word. And the dwarf sits back and starts to sip at her own coffee. Back up on deck. The ties connecting the ship to the dock are mostly being disconnected. Some of the main lines are held by a courtesy loop just to make sure it doesn't drift. But otherwise, the ship is now floating free. Hands are up in the rigging, ready to unfurl the sails. And seeing like Seaing. Thank you. The captain is standing off to the side of the helm with the quartermaster at the wheel. He's got a silver pocket watch in his hand. And with a sharp eye on it, after a few more minutes, he calls out, "Castaway! Unfurl sails!" The last of the lines holding the ship to the dock are untied by dock workers, and sailors on board the Endurance start to furl them back in. Well, the hands up in the rigging pull loose a number of the ropes, and the sails come billowing down. Pristine white, marred by the occasional stitching seam. Blanket down, and the ship immediately catches some wind and pushes out of the docks. The elf quartermaster guides the ship out of the docking area, and the ship begins to gain altitude. Once beyond the city of Fairways, more sails are let down, and the ship is now sailing at speed. Behind you, you see the city of Elysia in all its manicured glory. The pristine circle of the walls housing the manicured city streets, hiding the more tucked away gravel alleyways that you had been passing through, and the two main rivers passing along either side of the city wrap around and give it a nice shimmering sapphire appearance. The captain, as the ship leaves the airspace, pockets the pocket watch and returns below deck. And unless there's anything else, I think this will be a good spot to call the session. All right. I would do more, but I'm still slightly feverish. So, yeah. Glad to hear. All right, good to hear. I Yes, I will freely admit I have no idea how to run low-level sessions. Yep. It was a good use of it. Like, they were low-level cronies. They didn't want to get in trouble with the cops. Yeah. Good first session. Glad you guys enjoyed. Okay. So, yes. Fingers crossed. Like I said, early campaigns, I kind of blank on. But boy, howdy, do I have late game planned out. Yeah. No. Congratulations! By the way, this campaign's only 20 sessions long. But yeah, questions, comments, concerns. In that case, yep, every other week. So the next session will be February 13th. Oh. Yep. Fantastic. Yep. See you guys in the next one. Have fun. Oh. Woo. Session 1. Well, stream, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to tune in for the VOD. Watch it there. I will catch you guys in the next one. I may or may not stream some Mass Effect later today. I am feeling somewhat better. Actually, a lot better compared to a couple days ago. But whether or not I'm in for a insanity level stream, sure. So,